Hello and welcome back to 360 Comics. Joe here, and today we are going to go through part 2 of the Bronze Age newsstand collection that I recently purchased. And this segment is going to encompass all of the Fantastic Four books, all of the X-Men books, and all of the related titles as well, such as New Mutants and the Thing's solo book. Before we get into that, just a reminder, we're doing a 5,000 follower giveaway over on Instagram, where you can win a little bundle of Spawn books, including Spawn number 63 and 44, both in rare newsstand editions, as well as Spawn number 6 in the Spanish printing, and the Spawn Batman crossover book. Head on over to Instagram and enter to win these. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and comment as well. And look out, because we're going to be announcing our 1,000 subscriber giveaway here on YouTube really soon, and you're not going to want to miss that one. So just a quick recap on this collection before we get into it. I bought these books from the original owner, who collected from the mid-70s to the mid-80s, and none of the books were bagged and boarded, so none of them are in really high grade, but there are some pretty nice keys, and we're going to go over all the keys today regarding the Fantastic Four and spin-off books, as well as the X-Men and spin-off books, ranging from the minor keys to the major keys, and some weird ones too. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video for the bigger books in this collection, and don't forget to check out the other videos as well pertaining to this collection. The order that you watch them in doesn't matter, but I'll put a link in the description below to the first video, and then once I have the third, fourth, and fifth video out, I will add them in the link below. Check them all out, and definitely that fifth video, which is going to have a GRAIL in it. All right, kicking off the Fantastic Four books, we've got a early Bronze Age number 107, and this is the first appearance of Janus, the Nega Man, as well as the second appearance of Annihilus. You know I love these double keys that have, significance in two different ways. That way, if you're speculating on something or hoping something is going to go up in value, there are two different opportunities that could bring this book up in value. I know that a lot of people are speculating on Annihilus at some point, possibly, whose first appearance was in Fantastic Four Annual number 6, which is also a double key. Also, the first appearance of Franklin Richards. That's a great book to pick up. This is definitely a much more affordable book if you're looking for some Annihilus spec, as well as another character as well. We got the origin of Janus as well in the next issue, number 108. And, this, origin stories get pretty popular. If the character gets popular, not so much of a speculation for this character. At least I haven't really heard anyone talk about him at all, but you never know what could happen. Same with this next book. We got number 113. This is the first appearance of Overmind. Again, a good villain character that could possibly pop up. But either way, we got a 15-cent Fantastic Four key issue first appearance here. Not a major one, but definitely something good to pick up along the way if you're a key collector or a Fantastic Four fan. This next book I really like. This is number 123, and this is a classic battle between the Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Four. It's got a great cover. This is when, during the Bronze Age, they were doing these kind of like border covers. We got the yellow there. We got the space background with Silver Surfer popping right in the middle of it. Really love this cover. I'm a big Silver Surfer fan, and at some point, he's coming to the MCU. And we even got a Galactus cover here as well, right down in this little bubble in the circle at the bottom. But great cover. This next one is a pretty cool key in that it's Stan Lee's final issue that he worked on Fantastic Four. Number 125, again, with that Bronze Age bordered cover. Great shot there. Really cool covers. I like the kind of gradient in the background going from yellow to red, as well as that stark red background. Next up, this one Honestly, I like this book as a little bit of a speculation book. I think there's a possibility for this character. And like I said, either way, it's a nice Bronze Age key. We got Fantastic Four 129, the first appearance of Thundra. Going along with that, you usually find these two together in collections. Number 130, the very next book, Thundra's second appearance, with a great cover as well. And, easy ones to pick up. And this is also, I think, the first appearance of the Baxter Building. Am I remembering that correctly? I might be wrong about that, but I think that might be the key significance of this book, in addition to the Thundra. This next one, people are speculating on pretty hard at this point, and I'm probably going to hold on to this book for that reason. This is the first appearance of Nicholas Scratch, and if you've never heard that name before, that is okay. He is the son of Agatha Harkness, the witch from WandaVision. What's her name? Catherine Hahn played her, did a great job, fantastic. People loved that character, honestly, probably more than any other character in that show, to the point where she's getting a spin-off now. Now, could the spin-off be her origin story? Probably not, having her son. Or, actually, you know what? It really could. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. We don't know, but definitely a character that could pop up, and a pretty affordable key issue as well. So first appearance of Nicholas Scratch, that's 185, I think. Yeah, Fantastic Four 185, first Nicholas Scratch, the son of Agatha Harkness. Going along with that, this kind of has some witch connotation to it. This is the very next book. This is the first appearance of Salem's Seven, which, which could be, a little bit of a speculation as well for the Agatha Harkness show, given the background story of Agatha and her witchly roots. This is, again, a very affordable key if you're looking to pick up some things to, look into the future of the MCU. This next book, I thought that this book was underrated and undervalued for a long time, and I actually have a couple copies of it already for that reason. This is Fantastic Four 209. This is the first appearance of Herbie the Robot. If you watch the Fantastic Four show, he definitely plays a more major part in the show than he does the comic books. And, you get him on the cover here right down at the bottom. It's also the first John Byrne working on Fantastic Four. John Byrne, obviously a legendary artist in the Marvel industry. And, kind of a double key in that respect. Will we ever see Herbie in the MCU? I don't know, but there's certainly a possibility. He's a great character that appeals to, like a comedic value and kids and stuff like that. That's why they put him in the television show. So I could definitely see that happening. Next book is number 212, and this is a nice second appearance of Terrax. And other than that, nothing super going on with this book, but those second appearances do tend to rise alongside the first appearances. They do lag behind a little bit, but they often have a significantly lower buy-in. Next up is 245. We're skipping ahead pretty far. This is the first appearance of Avatar, who is one of the identities that Franklin Richards assumes. He's got a couple of them, but I think this is like the first kind of identity that he assumes, and it is the end of his childhood, as it says on the bottom down here. He does appear as an adult in this book as Avatar. This next one could be a possible Spec, another son of a major character book. This is the first appearance of the son of Doctor Doom. So, we're obviously going to see Doctor Doom in the MCU at some point. Are they going to elaborate on his personal life, backstory, all that stuff, and add his son in there? Maybe, maybe not. But for the price that this book is, it's a cheap key. You can pick it up and hold on to it and see what happens. This next one, I love the cover of this book. This is the key significance of this is Galactus destroys Tarnax 4, which I believe that's the Skrull, one of the Skrull planets. I think it's one of the Skrull planets. But really awesome cover with half Galactus's face and half the skeleton here. We got the Fantastic Four heads on the front. It's awesome looking. I love it. And it's, got some minor key significance. We're getting Skrulls back. We know that for sure in the MCU. So, maybe they'll elaborate on this. Maybe they'll introduce Galactus at some point as a world eater. Who knows what could happen with this book. This next one I really like, especially because we know She-Hulk is coming to the MCU. We've got Fantastic Four 265, and this is the issue where she joins the Fantastic Four. She actually replaces Thing for a little bit. I think probably when he was doing his solo series. I assume that's when this was happening. They probably were coming out at the same time. But yeah, she joins the Fantastic Four and kind of takes over the brute force character on the team. This next one, these next two actually, they go together really well, and people are specking hard on these. They popped up like crazy for a while. They've kind of settled back down, but they definitely still have some more room to grow here. I've got Fantastic Four 272, and this is the first cameo appearance of Nathaniel Richards. Nathaniel Richards being the name of Kang, also being the father of Reed Richards. Now, this is the father of Reed Richards. Kang, in most timelines, is a descendant of the Richards, also named Nathaniel Richards. It's not the father of Reed Richards is not Kang. At least I don't think in any timelines. Maybe in some version of it he is. Can't really keep up with all the multiverses. But anyway, this book spiked up a lot when Loki was coming out. And the really cool thing is the cowboy appearance here on the front. This kind of like futuristic cowboy world that they're in this book. It relates to an old Silver Age book that I'm not sure if it's the first appearance of Kang, but I know it's an early Kang appearance, and it ties those books together, which is really cool, just giving away little hints about Kang as a character. Like I said, to go along with that, the very next book, 273, this is the first full appearance as well as the first cover appearance of Nathaniel Richards, Reed Richards' father. Are we going to see him in the MCU? Who knows? We really don't know what's going to happen as far as the Fantastic Four goes. I think he could possibly be a character. He does tie in well with the team and as well as with Kang. So, possibly there might be some things going on with Nathaniel. That's the end of the Fantastic Four books, but there is one book that is a Fantastic Four adjacent book, and that is The Thing #1. This collection actually had most of the Thing solo run, but this is really the only one that harbors a lot of value. It's still not too much, $20, $25. This is actually a pretty high grade copy, and I'm stoked about having it because I've actually never owned this book, and I like The Thing. I think he's a pretty cool character. This is his first solo book. He does have those 2-in-1 books where they were kind of like team ups, but it was always The Thing and someone else. But yeah, either way, really cool book to have. And, he's coming to the MCU at some point, and I assume his solo book will tick up, because obviously his first appearance in Fantastic Four #1 is unreachable for 99% of people out there. All right, we're going to move on to X-Men now. And like I said, there's X-Men and there's X-Men adjacent. And don't forget, I'm holding the three top books for the end. There is a Fantastic Four book in there and 2 X-Men books. So stick around for those. Let's move on to the X-Men. All right, kicking off our X-Men books. Unfortunately, there were no high number double-digit X-Men books. You love to see those 94 through 99 books. None of those were in there. There were some of the reprints, which are from 67 to 93, but no complaints here. We've got some good ones in the early part of the Claremont run. Number 105, I believe. Yes, number 105. This is the first appearance of Lilandra, as well as the debut. I didn't know this, actually. I had to see this on Key Collector. The debut of the Phoenix Force powers from Jean Grey. Obviously, there's only a couple issues after the first appearance of Phoenix in 101. I'm always looking for that book, and I never seem to find it. Even when there's X-Men books in the 90s and 100s, it's just never in there. Moving on to 106, this is the first appearance of Entity, I believe. It's like the dark power within Professor X. He's, later we see Onslaught kind of being a, entity of Professor X, but this is a character that is kind of the darker side of Professor X. And I think probably this character influenced the creation of Onslaught later, which didn't happen until the 90s. But either way, cool. Early X-Men, early Claremont X-Men, rather. Next up is 127. Now, this is the second full appearance of Proteus. I never find the first appearance of Proteus in the wild. I found this book a couple times, though, and whenever I see it, I always think there's going to be a 126, or there's going to be a 129 or 130, which are great books to have. First, Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost, as well as the second appearance and the Emma Frost cover, but unfortunately not in there. We're going to skip ahead pretty far to 162. This is just a good Wolverine solo story. It wasn't his first. This was after the Wolverine limited series by Frank Miller, but before the first ongoing Wolverine series in 1988. So it's just a good solo story to have. A lot of people really like Wolverine, and as his other books get more expensive, things like this pop up a little bit as well. Very next book in the run is number 163, and that is the origin of Binary, and it starts to tell the story of Binary. She doesn't even have a full appearance in this book, but in the very next book is her first full appearance, finishing up her origin story, 164. And this is a book that I've got a little speculation going on. I think that maybe it really depends if they want to keep Brie Larson around in the MCU. If they do, they will probably change her over to this character, Binary, rather than just keeping her as Captain Marvel, because I think we're going to see Monica Rambeau take that title. So it really depends. I could see them also, ending things with Brie Larson, but, if they do decide to keep her around, I think it will probably be as this character. Next up, 168, a few issues later, we've got the first appearance of Madeleine Pryor as an adult. Kind of a minor key. Her first appearance, I think, is that Avengers Annual 10, the first appearance of Rogue, if I remember correctly, or something else. Maybe it's some bigger key. Maybe it's Giant Size X-Men or X-Men 94. I forget. But either way, this is her first appearance as an adult. People like to pick this one up because, her baby appearances don't really do much for the reader. This next one's good. I love this book. 171. This is the first appearance of Rogue joining the X-Men. Sorry, I didn't mean first appearance. I mean the issue where she joins the X-Men. People love this as a secondary Rogue key. Obviously, her first appearance is much more expensive. This is what's much more affordable. Next, 173, we got a classic Wolverine cover, black background, very hard to get in a high grade. So you got to watch out for this. And, this one is certainly not high grade. Like I said, this whole collection was not bagged, not boarded, but man, you have to look over this book with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that there's no color breaks, no ticks, but great cover nonetheless. Wolverine fans rejoice. This next one is a book that I've been picking up for like $5 for years, but recently it's been going up as the popularity of X-Men has been going up, as the speculation of X-Men has been going up. This is the first appearance of a pretty underrated character, Forge. And I'm a big fan of Forge. I think he would be great in the movie sense. And, he was in the animated series a little bit, I believe, if I'm remembering that correctly. And, cool character, great cover. And I love how the X-Men logo is burning up on the cover. Very cool stuff. But yeah, like I said, I was picking this up for like $3, $5 for years. And then you started seeing it going for $7, $10, $15, $20. I see it for like high grade copies for like $25 or $30 at this point. All right. On to the last couple X-Men books. Actually, I think the last X-Men book, yeah, is the last one before we get to some spin-offs, and then we'll go to the high-value books. This is number 193. This is the first appearance of Starfire in the Uncanny X-Men run. She did appear first in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends #1, which is the adaptation of the television show, which she originated in. She kind of got the I call it the Harley Quinn treatment, because that's kind of the most notable character that started in the television show and came to prominence in comics as well. But, you know, X-23 is another one. Started in the television show, was added to comics later. So this is her first appearance in the Uncanny X-Men run. Not the most expensive one. Her first appearance in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends #1. But it's a great one to pick up, especially if you're working on that Claremont run. Like I said, we got some X-Men spin-offs or related things. We got X-Men and Teen Titans, and this was a DC crossover with Marvel. I've never read it, and I think I'm going to, because now that I have this copy here, might as well read it. I'm not a big fan of crossovers, but X-Men are my favorite Marvel team. Teen Titans are my favorite DC team. I'm going to check it out and see what it's all about. Maybe I'll end up liking it. I'm also going to showcase this book in the DC video. I'll briefly go over it at that time, but don't forget to check out that video when it comes out. Next up is X Factor. We've got the first cameo appearance of Archangel in number 23. Archangel's obviously a pretty important character to the X-Men as time goes on. As far as, especially in the 90s, really awesome Jim Lee art a lot of times, showcasing the character. But this is his first cameo appearance as one of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And the very next issue is the first full appearance, and has a really great Walt Simonson cover. One of my favorite covers of all time. This is the only X Factor book that I really pulled out. There were a couple others, but this was the only real key. Next up is New Mutants. We got the first appearance of Magma in number 8. Little minor book. The first appearance of Warpath in number 16. I'm going to kind of breeze through these so we can get to the good ones. And number 18, this is the first appearance of Demon Bear, as well as the first cameo of Warlock. Now, that is not Warlock as in him, as in Adam Warlock. This is Warlock. He's like a cybertronic alien guy. And his first appearance is in this book, which is number 21 of New Mutants. First appearance of Warlock, as well as this is the first time that Ileana Rasputin, the sister of Colossus, is referred to as Magic. You'll actually see in a couple issues that that kind of name originated somewhere, and then this is where she starts being called Magic. This is one of my favorite New Mutants books. Actually, definitely my favorite. We got New Mutants 26. The first appearance of Legion, the son of Professor X. He had his own television show for a while. I thought it was great. I guess it didn't do too well. Personally, I would check it out, especially if you're a fan of New Mutants, of Professor X, of anything like that. Go check it out. This next one is the Storm and Ileana limited series. They had a little, I think it was a 4-issue run. This is number 1. Unfortunately, the rest of this run was not part of the collection. There were a lot of good limited series. There was the Iceman one. There was the X-Men and Micronauts. But this one was not complete. This was just issue number 1. And you'll notice it is called Magic. And that's where her name comes from. She's not referred to Magic in this series, though. It's just the title of the series. This next one, I love it. It is Dazzler 33, and we've got this funny cover. It's called Chiller, and the cover is an homage to Michael Jackson's Thriller music video, and people like to pick this one up. Not a lot of pricey books in the Dazzler run, but this is one of the most sought-after ones other than number 1, her first solo book, and gotta love that cover. Next up is another limited series featuring 2 of the X-Men characters. We've got Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, number 1. And I believe this is the first appearance of Ogun, who I think some people are speculating on that character for the Hit Monkey show. I think. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Either way, great limited series to read. A good Wolverine Kitty Pryde story, and I really like the art, especially with this split cover on number 1. Last up for the X-Men offshoot books, before we get into the 3 big keys that were in this bunch, we've got Alpha Flight number 1, their first solo book. Alpha Flight's been catching some heat recently. Their first appearance and first cameo appearance in the Uncanny X-Men run are up, and this rises with it. Like I always say, the secondary keys are really good to pick up and will be pulled up by those first appearances and major keys going up in value as well. This is the first appearance of Puck, who is a member of Alpha Flight, not a mutant, I believe. Not a mutant, but a character who definitely is a major part of this run and the team. Let's get into those big ones. Let's just dive right in. We'll start off with the one you saw in the beginning. We got the Fantastic Four number 110, and you'll notice that the color on this is kind of weird. We've got the Fantastic Four in pink costumes, and the Thing is down here being green. That is because they messed up printing this one, and you might have seen it on Instagram already. I posted this, and I showed it off on the Comic Book Canon YouTube live show a couple weeks ago. This was a printing error where they accidentally switched the printing plates, the magenta and the cyan. So the reddish color and the bluish color, they got switched. So it tinted everything incorrectly, and the major colors, like their uniforms, were completely wrong, as you can see. I don't know what percentage of the print run. I've seen a bunch of numbers where maybe 10%, some people say less than 5% of the print run was like this, but it definitely was corrected very quickly because there are way more normal printings out there. The last one to sell on eBay sold for like quite a bit of money, $800 or something. It was a much nicer copy. This is a low-grade copy that I have right here, but apparently it's a pretty rare and sought-after book, and I actually really like misprints, and I was not aware of this one. I had to actually take a double take. I pulled out all the keys from this collection, and then as I was bagging and boarding up the non-key books, I saw this. I kind of did a double take. I looked at it and didn't think anything of it, and then looked at it again, and I was like, wait a second, this doesn't seem right. I thought maybe could be part of the story that the color's off, but as soon as I Googled it, I found it there. And sorry guys if you're hearing some noise, I'm getting some work done on my house today, but hopefully it wasn't too loud for you. A little bit of banging on the roof. Let's move on to the X-Men keys. This was a nice one, number 100. And this book has eluded me for a long time. I would see them. It's not like I couldn't find them, but they were always just, at conventions or stores, astronomically high in price. And I couldn't find them anywhere for a reasonable price. This one it's actually in pretty good shape considering. It's like a mid-grade copy, maybe even the high side of mid-grade, maybe like a 7. I'm not really sure. I got to look at it a little bit more closely, but this book has eluded me for a long time, and I'm trying to complete a Claremont run. So this is definitely a book that I need. And actually with this, I have now 95, 96, 97, 98, and 100. I don't have 94. That's expensive. I don't have 101. That's expensive. So I need those two to, work on this run a little bit more, but I am getting close. I think I'm only about 25 books away maybe from the whole Claremont run. Anyway, the last book is a key people have been speculating on for a while. It's gone up, it's gone down, it's gone back up, it's gone back down. It's still a pretty pricey book. It is number 221, the first appearance of Mr. Sinister. I love this character. I grew up on this character with the animated show and throughout the 90s as well. We've got a great cover. It doesn't have Sinister on it, but it does have Havoc, Sonic Booming, Wolverine here. Great cover. This is a book, like I said, I've been speculating. I've got a 9.8, a 9.6, and a Raw. Now I got this Raw newsstand as well. This one I'll probably let go. It's not quite as high grade as my other Raw that I have. But yeah. great book. Awesome cover. Mr. Sinister's a pretty major character. I don't think we're going to see him like right off the bat in, once the X-Men come to the MCU. They'll probably do like Magneto, Juggernaut. They'll do the really big ones. But I definitely could see Mr. Sinister being a really, really cool character in the MCU. So yeah, between all three of these books, I am so stoked on this collection. These were the three big keys here. Make sure, if you didn't do so yet, go back in the link in the description below. Check out the first video, which was all the Spider-Man books, and then check out the future videos as they come out. The next one after this is going to be the DC books, then a miscellaneous Marvel one, which is a whole montage of Marvel stuff, and then the last one is going to be the Avengers and Avengers-related stuff. So it's Avengers, as well as Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, and Hulk. And within that, there is one GRAIL major key in there that I'm so excited. I saved it for last. You might have gotten the hint already. You might not have. Stick around for that one. Thank you guys for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe on your way out. Don't forget to leave a comment below as well. Let me know what you think of this X-Men and Fantastic Four haul. Check out the other video. Do all that stuff. Go follow on Instagram. And we'll see you next time. And until that next time, turn the page, wash your hands.